We're back with another 2021 rookie profile. Is Hunter Long a heat seeker? Watch and find out. Brad with RotoHeat and RookieDraftGuide.com. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, let's do it. Let's go ahead and do that. Just below. Click it. If you have already, thank you. We appreciate it. Don't forget, drop a like. Let's get this thing up to 200 likes, and don't forget to check out RookieDraftGuide.com. All right, as usual, this time of the video, it's the question. Is Hunter Long one of your top 5 rookie tight ends in this draft class for fantasy purposes? Let us know in the comments below. Coming out of high school, Long wasn't overly hyped. He was a 3-star prospect out of Deerfield Academy in New Hampshire, but was only the 80th ranked tight end based on 247's composite rankings. Had offers to quite a few schools, Massachusetts, Fordham, Connecticut, obviously chose Boston College. When he got to college, freshman season, it's tough with him, because his numbers are kind of inflated a bit in some areas. So as we get later into the video and we talk about kind of what our guys on the team were seeing, 2019 was a big year average per reception, but he only had 28 receptions. He had 28 receptions, 509 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2020, on the other hand, he had a bunch of receptions, 57 receptions, 685 yards, so the yards didn't go up all that much. And then 5 touchdowns, a few more touchdowns, but the average dipped way down, obviously. Much more involved in the passing game, a lot more catches, but not much more yards. And you kind of see that in Long's career with Boston College. And the conversation that we want to have, which is why I asked you if he's one of your top 5 rookie tight ends, is what do we make of not only the production, but the player himself? So I don't want to spoil it too much as we get into the pro side of things, but, we saw big average per reception in 2019, but then in 2020 we didn't see any of that. We saw more like 12 yards per reception in 2020 in the same amount of games. 11 games, still everything was the same. So it'll be interesting to see what teams make of Long as he moves into the next level, kind of the position that teams want to put him in. He did a lot of blocking at the collegiate level. And if you want to see some of the better film from him, whether it's blocking, receiving, all that, I would check out Duke this year. Really, any of his games in 2020, you see a much more involved player in the offense. So you can see them targeting more. You can see him running more routes. You see the blocking potential. You see the physicality to him, because remember, Long is a big kid. I mean, he's 6'5", probably could stand up on a little more weight. I think he's 230, 240-ish range. I would have to verify that. It's probably around 230, 240. He could probably stand to add another 10, 15 pounds easily and still keep the same athletic profile, just because he isn't the deep ball vertical threat. I mean, he can, but he's not a big yak guy, and things like that. So he's got some room to develop, but he's got a big, strong frame. And you saw that because Boston College had him blocking quite a bit, quite honestly. I mean, he was involved very heavily in the blocking game. So teams that want to use that tight end in that role, I think will be excited about a guy like Long, because then you can have him on the field all 3 downs, and then that gives you the ability to kind of do things differently, whether it's short yardage runs on 3rd down to keep a defense honest, or just moving them out to do some other things in the passing game. I mean, Long gives you kind of that good mix of both. So like I asked, is he one of the top 5 rookie tight ends in this class? Because you've heard in some of my other videos, I like this rookie class at the tight end a lot. And with the way the NFL is set up, we need an influx of really dynamic playmaking tight ends that can help our fantasy rosters get better, because there's just not a lot. You have a couple of top end guys, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 guys that are really dynamic, true high end fantasy tight ends, but there's just not a lot of strength to the position group right now. And I think what you're going to see is there's going to be 3 to 5 tight ends in this class that could profile as that. Hunter Long, obviously, when you look through, and obviously rookiedraftguide.com is where you want to go to get all this information, but when you look through the guy's notes and the ratings and rankings, he's high. They're high on this player because he can do a lot of different things. He can be the blocker. He can be the inline pass-catching tight end. They can bump him out in the slot. He does a good job, and the guys all thought his football IQ was really, I don't want to say elite, but really top-notch, just because he does a good job working his route in such a way that he helps his quarterback out. Especially in the position that the tight end has, sometimes you have to be able to be flexible to find the space in the defense that you can get open to be that safety valve for a quarterback. Especially nowadays with so many young quarterbacks, you need, they talk about the tight end as kind of that safety net for the quarterback, and Long does a good job of being able to find the soft spots in the zone. That's why we saw in 2019, he only had like 28 receptions, but it was like 509, 510 yards or something like that, because he was able to, no matter where the route took him, whether it was short, medium, or even a little bit deeper, the 15 to 20 yard type route, he was able to do that and get open for his quarterback, and that's huge. Very intelligent young man, and we saw that as we look through, as you look through our ratings, and we don't give numbers away on here because we want you to go to the website, but when it came to the to the football IQ side of things and doing some of the things you want your tight end to be able to do, the guys are high on them. When I look through their notes, their specific notes, everybody talked about the good size, the good frame, good blocker, but everybody's downside of him is that not necessarily elite and not necessarily going to be much of a yak guy. He's not going to get you a ton after the catch. He's kind of a catch it, and that's really about it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if he's getting, 10 to 15 yards of reception, he doesn't have to be a big play threat, because he's going to get you, when you think about fantasy, he's probably getting you a point to a point and a half every time he catches the ball if he's doing something like that. Now, obviously that's all guesswork. I mean, that's just me blowing smoke, but looking at his college profile, he can do that. I mean, he's a guy that can get you those move the chains type receptions, and he's just really an impressive young man. I mean, he was a guy that a year and a half ago people really weren't talking about a whole lot. Had only 28 receptions over 500 yards, which is impressive when it comes to average, but he just wasn't heavily involved, so teams weren't really sure what to make of him long term. And then in 2020 they targeted him almost twice as much, and he showed actually was twice as much. Was it 57 receptions? And that's more than twice as much. But he's an impressive young man. And the question I had to you, is he one of your top 5 tight ends? In my personal opinion, he's definitely one of the top 5 tight ends in this rookie class. The guys on the team, I don't know. You'll have to check out Rookie Draft Guide to find out. We thank you guys as always, keeping this conversation going. I love seeing all the comments on YouTube, and you guys see me in the chats throwing my 2 cents, no pun intended, Sully. Throwing my 2 cents into the conversation, but check out RotoHeat.com and get all our up-to-date, we're doing how-to series, how to start leagues, and all the nuts and bolts of being an admin and doing some of those things. We're here to help from the top down. We want to help you with your rookie scouting and getting prepared for your rookie drafts. We want to help you with your startup drafts, your in-season management. We have live streams after the Super Bowl. We're going to start getting back to a lot of live streams, but we wanted to pound out a lot of rookie content. So we're here to help. We thank you guys as always. We love every one of you guys. You guys rock. You really help make RotoHeat the great community that it is, and it's growing each and every day. So jump on board, Discord, the Facebook community. Hit us up on Twitter if you got questions. In here, if you got questions, you can tag me, and I will respond accordingly. I jump in here almost every day to try to respond to folks. So we love you guys. We'll talk to you again soon.